It's lunchtime, and this is Brad Anderson's Lunch Break. Two of my favorite things about Microsoft are the smart people that constantly visit campus and the great fleet of shuttles. Whenever I can, I try to take advantage of both of these things and grab lunch with some of the tech industry's best and brightest. Today, I'll finish up my conversation with Jeff Teper, the creator of SharePoint. I was thinking about a lot of the things that you and I have done together. About 5 years ago, I remember sending you a mail. I was like, Jeff, hey, this whole thing with non-Windows devices, we got to do some work together here. I've got this management stuff I'm working on. There's things you're working on. Let's get together and let's get a plan for how, productivity and management come together. You remember, when you forwarded that message to Rajesh, what Rajesh said?
Yeah.
I can still remember your exact comment was, hey, Brad's a Windows guy. You remember this?
I do. Yes, I'm sorry I was a little snippy at that meeting, but I was, why am I talking to Brad?
He said, no, Brad's a Windows guy.
Yeah.
And I said, no, Brad's a business guy. Brad wants to build the product that customers want. You had a set of competitors or alternatives that had a pretty crappy set of productivity apps. And we had competitors that didn't really have the manageability. And so besides being the thing our customers wanted, it was sort of a win-win.
Okay, so we're gonna play a game called This or That.
Sure.
So I'm gonna give you a couple of descriptions, and I'm gonna give you like a phrase or a word, and you're gonna tell me, is it this, is it that, or is it both?
Okay.
Okay, the two terms we're gonna work with are malware, or am I talking about Minecraft? So malware or Minecraft.
Okay.
Way too many people in your workforce have it running in the background.
Minecraft.
Your kids probably download on your phone, you weren't looking.
Malware. I answered both those wrong. They both could be right?
Millions of people all over the world are working on it right now.
Malware.
At least it gets kids interested in technology.
Minecraft.
It's both,
that
too,
could be both.
There's a huge secondary economy for people who are good at building it.
Oh, well, that's gosh, I have to pick one?
I heard that your first job in the software industry was writing a vehicle simulator when you were like 14?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, wow, you really did dig deep. So my dad was a aerospace engineer, and he had these algorithms for vehicle simulation that he'd done in Fortran on a PDP-11. And he did some work on the side from the company he worked with, and I think he probably charged himself out at $100 an hour, and he paid me like $7 an hour to port the Fortran from the PDP-11 to the TRS-80 Model 3
Oh my
in
word.
Fortran, whatever it was, Fortran 4, Fortran 77.
Yep.
And so I had no idea what these algorithms did. I didn't know what the outputs they were supposed to do. But there were some subtle differences, as there always are in compilers with your data types and so forth, where I had to run it on the PDP-11, I had to run it on the TRS-80 Model 3 and make sure that, I guess the car didn't
And this
crash.
is at 14?
Yeah.
Wow, a ton of upper level math involved with all that movement.
Yes, matrix algebra. I didn't really understand it.
Just little
I
stuff
got
like
it
that.
correct. My dad fixed a couple of bugs, but he did pay me, so I assume that must mean that I did
$7 an hour when you and I were 14, you know what?
Yeah.
I was delivering newspapers when I was
Yes.
14, making $1 an hour.
Fun stat for you. We've had 250 million downloads of OneDrive on iOS and Android. And the
250 million.
the Google Play Store, which is of course the biggest store because they have the most mobile devices. But 800,000 people rated us, 4.4 rating, higher than the home team of Google Drive on that device, which we're really proud of. It's been really great to see, and I think the things that people like about OneDrive are the rich collaboration capabilities with Office. We're starting to do things, unique things with intelligence.
What you and I have talked about is how do we build this in a way that is loved by users and trusted by IT?
It's tricky,
and nailing
man.
both is actually really hard.
Yeah, and our teams, and this is good, our teams fight sometimes so our users and IT departments don't have to, because we will push each other.
Correct.
And we'll say, Brad, this dialogue that came up, we got to do something about it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And you'd say, yeah, but, if we just blow past it, here's the risk that you're, and that challenge that we do on each other leads to, I think, some of our best work where we balance usability and security.
Well, Well, Jeff, let's make sure we make this like a regular cadence. You
Yeah,
know,
Brad, glad to do it. And I know you've got to pick other people up in the shuttle. Don't quit your day job.
All right, man. Good to see you. All right, take care now.
See you, Brad.
Next time on Brad Anderson's Lunch Break.
4 or 5 years ago, I was at a function. I was introduced to a kind of an elected member of Parliament in New Zealand, and someone introduced me as this global cloud expert. And this dude said, without a word of a lie, "Oh, you study the weather, do you?"